Hey there, friend. How are you? Welcome to Soul Line. This is Jamie, and we're checking in for your energies, Pisces. Let's just see what's going on and how we can best support your journey and get some cards out and rocking. Alrighty, let's check the current energies for you right now, and let me know where you're from today and what time it is where you are. All right. Appreciate you all being here. Current energy showing up. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, let's see what is crossing this energy. Straight flipper. We've got the Nine of Wands. I'm just going to pull out a few cards and then get into it. So let's see what's influencing this right now. Two of Cups. Okay. The past impacting. The creator energy. Let's see what's in the headspace for consideration here. Okay, we've got the World. One of my favorite cards, the Mother Star card, dropped out in terms of what's coming up, what you can expect next. We'll start there and then... No, I feel like I need to pull all the cards out. So your power in this situation. We've got the Chariot energy. What's going on around you that you need to be aware of? They're just flying out today. We've got the Page of Cups. Hopes and fears. Okay, there's a couple of things going on. Hopes and fears. Okay, we've got, this is a nice one. We've got King of Wands, Eight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So there's a lot going on for this to sit in your hopes and fears, which I'll get into. And then let's have a look at the potential outcome, shall we? Knight of Swords. So I'll get into that in a moment. Okay, Pisces. So straight up in the current energy to show up with Nine of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So that the Ace of Swords sat in current energy. The Nine of Wands is sitting in what's challenging you. You know, a lot of the time when the Ace of Swords comes on in, it's wanting to gain some clarity, wanting to gain some truth, wanting that, you know, as part of your navigation, a part of where you want to go. What's challenging it though right now, maybe you're not... Maybe it's been like a bit of it feels like it's been a hard stone to grind to get the information that you're seeking, or maybe the way something's positioned to understand a certain situation, maybe that isn't coming across. Maybe you've just been handling it versus diving into it is kind of what it seems like. But let's jump in a little bit more, because we do have the Two of Cups, which is influencing this. So yeah, there could be something you're not feeling supported in a connection or a partnership right now, and that's what could be coming up, or why this has been a bit of a problem. But it seems to be around a connection, yeah, or a partnership of some kind that has meaning, right? It has meaning, it has depth, and you know, you'll know what that potential relationship is about. But you do have the creator energy. So maybe at some point in time, something did happen or something occurred that maybe didn't kick off the right way, or something didn't go to plan. So the creator energy, that's giving allowance for the universe to do what it needs to do. Or if you're trying to understand, well, why didn't this work out a certain way? There's a reason for it. There was something else that was meant for you. And maybe, you know, a relationship changed. Maybe now you're gaining some closure. Maybe now, you know, there's parts of you that has a different way of, you know, showing up in what's important to you, in what standards, in what you expect. You know, there could have been something that changed here, and maybe expressing that could be part of the situation right now. Maybe you're a bit held back in expressing what you want or how you feel about something. Or maybe you are, but you're not setting the boundaries in place, right? Like you might say, ask a question that sometimes the answer we may not want to hear, but then what do you do with that information? What are you doing with that information thereafter? Are you making promises to yourself or the dynamic and then finding yourself in a situation where you're just not pleased with the outcome, or you need to set better boundaries? There's something here about information, understanding it to what it's actually saying, and what you want to do with it is what it seems. But there's a lesson here of something, of why something didn't work out before. So what are you potentially missing here? It doesn't mean it's happening in this relationship, but it might be something that happened before in a previous relationship, if that makes sense. That you're, sometimes those red flags, or sometimes those green flags, or sometimes our own inner spirit needing support or needing comfort, and it comes out in relationship with someone or with something. Maybe it's hitting our vulnerabilities and how we work to manage that. Because when we sit here with this world energy, this is very much around the headspace, your headspace. So, maybe there's a part of you, like I said, that wants to shut the door on some experience that you've had. It's like you're in a new chapter. You want to jump into that new chapter. You want that to be exciting, whatever that is. But it's like you just don't want to repeat where you've been. You want to welcome the new. But to do that, it's like that something needs to be done. So you could be thinking about going somewhere, experiencing or exploring something, starting something new, putting something out into the world, as well. It's definitely something that you're thinking about, but it could also be asking you, there is something that you've got to finish as well, something to complete, don't leave it open-ended. Maybe, there's something that you've got to, I do think naturally it's shut the door on, but that's how you get to this next phase. So sometimes shutting that door doesn't mean necessarily cutting all ties or whatever, but it might mean that thing that you've got to let go, that thing that needs to be changed, that thing that needs to be addressed, it's time. And you could be just procrastinating in it a little bit because you're holding strong, but are you truly holding strong to your truth? Are you just biting your tongue, or are you just holding back? Are you just going to wait and see what happens, but you aren't doing anything about it? And that's what feels a bit much in the energy right now. I feel for some of you, you're ignoring something you're hearing because it keeps you safer. You do have the Mother Star card coming up in the near future. So I like this because it's letting me know that there's some, positive movement forward, where you're going, what you're going after, how you lead. You will be making the right decisions, but there is something mentally showing up here for you of this jump, this leap, this direction. And Spirit's kind of letting you know, yeah, baby, go for it, So I like that for you. Your strength, your power in this case is the Chariot, and the Chariot's Cancerian energy. We do have Venus, Jupiter, exalted right now. Cancer. This is discipline and drive, right? Discipline and drive, direction, taking charge, knowing who you are, like holding the fort, doing what you got to do, right? And I feel like there's something really bold here that, again, this is who you are and your power when you're in your elevated state, when you're feeling like, I got this, I know what I'm doing, I'm going after it. If it doesn't work out, it's cool. I'll figure it out along the way. So your power right now is this, grabbing hold of the direction, making the choices you need to make to, succeed, to drive forward, and open up the world to what is possible. And that world is your world, and who you connect with, who you I think sometimes we forget we have our own journey, right? In the sense of that's unique to us, but we also on that journey have a lot of impact on other people. And I feel like there's something that you are wanting right now that's in pursuit of your goals, or just a desire or drive that you're feeling within you. I just don't think perhaps, and that's what's cool about it, is on the experience, on the journey, all these cool connection points that you create on your path. And that's where I feel coming up next, because you do have the Page of Cups, which is what's going on around you. I feel it's going to get you more excited, more curious. There's like this energy that kind of starts peaking a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And it gets you, it's like that warm and fuzzy feeling, right? Because there's this ambitious curiosity, there's this self-assurance curiosity, and it's like you're willing to see where it takes you. And I love this, okay? Because it feels really, like I said, really positive. You've got the Mother Star card showing up with the Chariot and the Page of Cups. But this is in your hands. This is in like the gifts that wants to give to you, and what do you plan to do with that, okay? And you don't have to have all the answers. I think it's just, how do you keep that momentum? How do you keep that going? And all the time, it's about the people that you're around, or the people that you're no longer around, or something else, again, that captures your attention and wants you to go, check it out, see what it's about. Obviously, in goodness, right? Don't put yourself in situations that aren't of your highest good, highest self, highest, moral compass kind of thing. Integrity is really important, right? That's your character, what you do behind closed doors. And I think that's really important, because your hopes and fears is something ambitious, dedicated, motivated, strong. And hey, let's talk about it. Let's drive this forward. Let's move this forward. So again, there's a very positive, action-driven energy that's around you. So it's like you're waiting to hear from someone potentially about this fresh start, fresh beginning. For some of you, this could be a lot around work-related or project-related activity. As I said, it doesn't need, some of you I know may not, work, or may not, maybe retired, or are in a different phase of life, but maybe there's this project that, or connection that you want to connect to, talk to, open up the opportunity for something something that you get to experience, right? This is something about you getting to experience that's aligned with your goals and your ambition right now. And I feel like the hope and the desire is that you're going to have that communication. And I really feel this is what it's kind of telling you, there's this very strong positive energy supporting that in terms of the outcome. You do have the Knight of Swords, however, sitting in the outcome space. So let's get a little bit more on what this is about and what you need to know, because the Knight of Swords is an interesting one. It's some strong energy that comes through from kind of like a bit more flyby energy. It's something that could be calculated, but it's also something that could be left field, or like, holy shit, what do I do with this? It's like a bit more of a push-pull energy versus clarity, direction. And this is maybe something that to work on with both these two energies of the world and the Nine of Wands, because the Nine of Wands, what's challenging you, and the world. Again, I feel like, what are you going to do about this up and down, or this challenging component here around this situation? I did see the Devil just a little sneaky on the bottom, but if it wants to come out, it will come out. Knight of Swords. Okay. So there's something, again, around work or community or coming together, wanting to build on that thing that I was speaking about earlier in your hopes and fears. What else do we need to know about this? Two of Swords, 10 of Cups. So again, it's directional. So maybe there's something here about harmony and desire around something to do on the home front, or something to do, again, what is warm to you, what makes you feel alive and connected and safe, right? Because it feels like something is challenging or putting you in a bit of indecision. What else do we need to know about this choice or this decision that's showing up here? What do we need to see? Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. You could be questioning, is it stable, or are you moving to, I'll say a higher level. It could be a higher level commitment, or a higher level job, or a higher level experience of stability, but it's turning point, right? That's what it feels like. It's a turning point. It's doing something differently. For some of you, you could be looking at moving home. You could be looking at traveling. But maybe you're not sure if you should be going for it. But for some of you too, this could be very much on the work front as well with this Three of Pentacles. Whether you know, people are coming together to work together. There just seems to be some conflicting energy here. But again, I feel like you're trying to gain some clarity on something. And if it is about changing direction, going for something particular, communication does want to come in. Something does want to drive this forward, but it's also about not standing still and being strong in your convictions, okay? Because I feel with this Knight of Wands, and this Ace of Swords, which is the foundational part of this reading, is saying, hey, you want the truth, you want clarity, you seek direction. That's what seems to be key right now for you. But there's something here that's just, what is it that, I don't know, is it something you're choosing not to hear, or is it something that you need to be a bit more forthright in? Because that's where I think this is coming in with this Knight of Swords. It's like, everything seems great. Let's go. And then it's like, oh, hang on a sec. We've got this to work on. We've got this to do. Or you're a part of, you know, it feels like you've got a challenging energy it's like you need to wait and see a little bit. Shame on this Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. It is, how do we bring this to harmony and balance? Because something is a little off kilter. And then you have the Ace of Cups. One more, thank you, Spirit, towards this outcome. And Two of Wands. Because what also could be happening here, it doesn't mean that there's major conflict at all. It could be just, you know, conversations or the direction sometimes things go when you do have conversations, or when something is presented to you. If it's at work and it's just something's not feeling right, or if it's, you know, you're trying to get together with people or hoping people will come together and support a goal or support each other, it just feels like you don't know if that's what you're ever going to get to, okay? But what I do sense strongly here is that you're tired of keeping somewhere, is what it feels like, or staying somewhere that just doesn't want to evolve, right? And I think you're a part of a quite a significant evolution right now. And it doesn't necessarily need to be, you know, changing jobs is a major thing, right? I mean, it definitely used to be some time ago, especially if people stay in the type of work for a long time. Could be too, changing homes or changing your season of life, right? Maybe you're moving from divorced, you know, being married to divorced. Maybe, you know, your kids are getting older. Maybe choosing to retire or semi-retire, or just looking at where you want to settle, you know, for the next 10 years, whatever that is for you. And it feels like with this, it's like, how do you get to a place of you can make it work for everyone? Like, where's that equilibrium sit? But it does need to be reciprocal, especially if you've got people that, you know, you want on the journey and they want to be on the journey. So there's something here about how do you get back to the basis foundation. And it's interesting because every read I think I've done in the last couple of days for you, or the last week for you, Pisces, quite a few of them anyway, have had the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. So there's definitely something about taking action and around where you want to build, where you want to create. But there's also like getting, you know, feeling the heartbeat of it with this Ace of Cups, feeling the excitement with it, because it is to do with plans. It is about coming together with, I feel, someone or something important that's meant to align here for you, okay? Now I am going to get some door cards as well for some final guidance. The first card that's come out, if you can see that. Oh, okay. So this answer is yes. Oh, you can see the reflection here. This answer is yes. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and to fly. Okay, let's get you one more on the advice in terms of this situation. Ooh, I don't know if I've seen this one before. This is a blue door. Let's knock, knock, knock. Okay. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories in sketches for others to find. Hey, maybe some of you are artists. Maybe some of you like to create. I feel this energy in particular is talking more about, I just want to read it again with the energy. Yeah, I feel like this is about part of your legacy, part of your journey on an impact. Okay, so I feel like the sketches, the secret sketches, is the energy, is the imprint that you leave along the way. But again, there's some familiarity here. So if you've been considering or questioning that change around something, it's saying yes. So, but again, I feel like it's actually bigger than just what you're doing, like in terms of the momentum. It's kind of like that snowball effect. You start somewhere, and I feel it takes you to these, grand, glorious places along the way, and the people and the opportunities. And it's not, there's a lot more to it than what you may seem. Now, this door's an interesting one. Hey, so this one is called Walkabout. You discover your path in sacred walkabout. The trees are your people, the earth is your tribe, in indigenous lessons you find the will to survive. Yeah, I like that, walkabout. So this seems to be, and I'll say it again because you do have the world, something that you've been thinking about, because there was something that didn't work out. But it makes sense perhaps why it didn't. I think you've got a lot more awareness. So on that note, what is it in terms of this walkabout? What is that thing that you want to explore, experience, put out? Because the walkabout doesn't necessarily, while it can be, figuratively, maybe it can be, expressively, it's like it's time to explore. It's time to understand that from the time that we knew it before the time that we were here, it did talk about indigenous, right? So that's, a time of when things were at basics, where they had to build, they had to create, it was survival. But a part of that walkabout, there was explorative energy. You'd find something to mix with this, you'd try experiments and but you're just so connected to what's around you. And I feel like there is something beautiful in that spirit and that energy of who you are. And there's something about exploring it that I feel is very relevant that you're thinking about. And then the conversation. So I do feel there's some generational energy here, and could be legacy that you're thinking about as well. Again, where you want to land, what you want to build, what you want to do in this season of your life, that's very relevant. And Spirit's kind of asking you, what conversation, what truth, and what honesty. And honesty, meaning more so for yourself, what you need. What do you need to do that you haven't been doing? What have you been letting slide so much that, is it time to just step it into a place of, I'm allowed to do these things. I'm allowed to follow this path. I'm allowed to not be okay with something, and I'm allowed to be okay and excited about something as well. So I think there's just a few things just to tap into for yourself right now. And what you're not okay with, what can you do for yourself to support that? And what you want to do and explore and touch into, well, what's like one thing that you can do this week to, again, invigorate that or keep moving that forward. So just a few things to leave with you, my friend. And if you haven't already and you want to check out my Substack, it's Writings, Musings, Midlife. Feel free to check it out. There's a link below. And there'll be some really, some newer things coming out there. I write once a week just of stuff that we put in our side notes, because it's called side notes. You know, sometimes that we want to say something and we just put it in our phone or type it out and like, I'm going to send that message, or I'm just fed up, or I've got to remind myself of all these things that I want to do or want to experience. That's what these musings are about. And with a bit of humor too, because we want to have fun along the way. Anyway, I'll catch you later, friend. Bye.